Hey guys, John Faulkner here with Survival Dispatch, and I have my man, Angry American. Finally.
Yeah.
Phone.
I'm sorry.
Dude, it's been like a month since you've been
here. I know it's been a hot minute since I've been up here, but I've been busy, dude. That's not because
I have been here the last couple of weeks.
You've been gone too.
What doesn't matter?
And I don't even want to hear no crap out of you because, I'm in the swamps of Kentucky. You're shooting hogs from helicopters, so bite me.
Listen.
Rockstar life.
We chose what we get to do.
Yeah, he's like, I gotta go to Texas. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I gotta go shoot hogs from a helicopter. I'm like,
yeah, but what you didn't know is I was in Salt Lake City 2 days before that. LA the day before that. It was
it's not like you're walking between those cities.
All right.
I sent him a text and said, stop being such a rock star and get back to work.
Yeah, right?
I'm going to turn Nikki's mic off. For all of you awesome people out there that put up with us on a weekly basis, I don't know why. But we are here again, Survival Dispatch Live, and if you can't see, we have tons of fire crap on the
we
table.
have a pyromaniac's plethora of toys up here.
So today is all about commercially bought fire starters. Okay, so I mean we have lighters, we have ferro rods, we have spark wheels,
we have matches,
we have flares, candles, fat wood, fat rope, you name it, it's up here.
Fire paracord,
jute paracord,
just
titanium or magnesium shavings.
They're not there's there better be a damn. Oh, you said Ferro, or not Ferro, but Fresnel. I see them hiding over. Fresnel lenses.
Yeah, Fresnel
trioxin tablets,
stoves, bags.
Bellows.
Chris is just digging out my bag because I don't know why.
I'm just going to pick through it, take the good stuff.
That's fine.
I'm going to treat this like Alan Kay does an MRE.
Yeah.
Don't let him get to your case of MRE before you do.
You learn special things about special people.
When you go to the woods with them.
When you go to the woods with them. So, so guys, if you have questions on anything fire started, your fire kits, what you should keep in them, have you guys tried this? Ask those questions because as you see, everything on the table here, Chris and I have used more than once.
Yep.
If it's not on the table, it was probably so bad that we didn't even bring it out of the woods.
Discarded it.
Yeah, just get rid of it.
Yeah.
Wet fire. Yes, we have wet fire. I mean, we have Esbit, so we have trioxane. We have all kinds of the same thing as wet fire, and it's pretty much all the same.
Yeah, it is pretty much all the same.
So,
but and I bought some stuff. I bought some Pure Fire. I can't remember what it was called now, but they had different tins, and it came as a set. There was a summer blend and a winter blend and some other blend, and I'm just like, this is all like a cotton batten with something soaked in it, and that's cool. But for a fraction of whatever the hell I paid for that, I can make
Vaseline
cotton balls.
Vaseline.
And these burn longer, better than anything else.
Yeah. So,
but
what we're gonna do is, I mean, Chris dumped my bag out, but we'll go through our bags.
My bag too. I'm not scared.
My stuff's in there too.
Nikki's got crap on the table.
The fun part is
here in a minute too.
The fun part's going to be putting it all back together. No, that's mine.
So
it's going to be like just get what you can get real quick.
Yeah, right.
Grab bag.
That's mine.
Oh, that's mine. All in.
So guys, if you have questions out there, drop them below. We're going to get going. We're going to be here for the next hour talking about nothing but fire. So, our first question right here is from
Toodle
Trucker. I like it. Toodle Truck. Have you used fire putty? I have tried it. I wasn't a huge fan of it. It works really well. So this is just my preference, and we'll kind of give some my preference, your preference, and joint preferences. I'm not a huge fan of Vaseline and cotton balls, the squeezable, fire starter stuff. Anything that gets your hands nasty or we don't always have the ability to watch. I just hate I've seen so many people take a Vaseline cotton ball and try to fluff it up and then try to use like a spark wheel.
It's so easy.
I know, but still, you get crap all over your hands.
No, you don't.
So fire putty, I've used it. It's okay. I think there's a whole lot better options out there, and I would even say including Vaseline and cotton balls.
Well, one of the reasons I like to carry this stuff, and this hasn't been repacked since I came home, and I was using a lot of this out in the field showing and doing, is this is more than one purpose.
Oh yeah.
you can maintain carbon blades in the field with this.
Yep.
You can use it as chapstick if you need to. Chafing. This has a number of purposes, not just as a fire starter.
Yep.
This is a petroleum product that if I've got tools out there I need to maintain, even a weapon, last case ditch. I mean, you got something starting to rust.
Yeah.
Some damn Vaseline on it, slow that down. And you can make these at home for nothing.
Yeah.
And I do the method of rendering the Vaseline down to a liquid.
So you heat it up.
And I stuff cotton balls in it until it's totally absorbed, and that's how I do it.
His Vaseline cotton balls are like more of like almost a wax.
Yeah, they're
feeling like a candle almost.
Yeah.
Instead of just a drip.
The old method was you took a cotton ball and you took Vaseline and you kind of pressed it in there. I'm not a fan of it. And this thing here will burn for nearly 5 minutes.
The easiest way to do it is to turn a Ziploc bag inside out, put your hand in it, scoop out a bunch of Vaseline, put cotton balls in it, and then turn the bag back inside. And then you can kind of work it around.
I like to melt
Just letting you know. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Just works better.
You're whatever. You're different. So, all right.
Just know what I'm doing.
Gliding Edge asks, 4-directional bushcraft blaze cord.
4-directional.
Have you seen this one?
No. Well, I mean, here is one of the fire cords. This is actual fire cord.
Yeah.
And so when you pull this out, you've got your traditional
Do we need to light it?
strands. I mean, we can. I mean, yeah. And then you've got the red strand inside of here,
Yep.
which is actual tinder. And this will even take a spark. I mean, you don't
Yep.
need to just.
Nope.
Hey, let's see. It should take the spark.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Afraid
Absolutely.
of it.
Absolutely.
So let's just see if we
Turn around.
There, that turn around.
Yeah.
Oh, it almost did it. Spread it out a little more. But this stuff it generally catches a spark pretty good.
Yeah.
There it goes.
Yeah.
So that's tinder.
We're going to have such a smoky room. This is going to
Is
be
there
awesome.
a smoke detector in here?
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
But yeah, I'll get rid of that. But that's what's inside of this paracord. So you're carrying your paracord and some commercial tinder that will catch real easy and burn nice.
And another option. This is pretty much the same exact thing, but instead of that fire cord, I got this from ITS Tactical. This has a thin piece of jute in it, and you can just kind of pull that out, fluff it up, and boom,
fire.
So, all right, Justin wants to know: have you tried the Magnesium Ferro Rod combo from Harbor Freight?
No,
I have never tried the one from Harbor Freight. I'm sure it's similar to like the Culligan or Coleman.
The Culligan. Typically, and I'll guarantee you that one's the same condition. Yep. Those magnesium rods are so hard.
Yeah.
That I mean, you will work yourself to death to get it. There's a difference in magnesium. There we go. We both pick it up. These magnesiums here, this magnesium in particular is very soft. Now
these are from Pure Fire Tactical. Everything we're holding up here.
Yeah. The original Dones magnesium blocks were the good ones because they were softer and you could actually scrape those. But that's like mil spec. They're a little harder to find. They're a little more money than that Coolgins or whatever Coleman too. I think does them, but. They're all like almost like structural grade magnesium.
Right.
They're so hard. So.
But yeah, I mean, Chris and I, and Nikki will agree. If you're going to go a magnesium fire rod combo, it's Pure Fire Tactical.
Yeah, or nothing. I mean,
and they make quite a few different ones. Yeah. I don't have an EDC.
Folder's my favorite.
Yeah, the folder's definitely the best. I think comes with a hacksaw blade in it. Hacksaw blade, because it has very sharp corners, not like cut yourself, but very square corners.
Yeah.
Gets a fantastic spark when you go.
Not the teeth side.
Not the teeth side.
Back side.
Yep. And it has a magnet inside that you can't lose the blade in.
Right on. So, that's nice.
All right. Truth Seeker asks, what do you guys think about potassium permanganate and sugar? So.
Sugar. Glycerin.
Glycerin.
It takes potassium permanganate and glycerin. I didn't know you could light.
Maybe sugar?
I didn't know you could light it with sugar. Maybe you can. I could be wrong. But I know it's glycerin typically that you light potassium permanganate with. And that's great. Potassium permanganate can also be used to purify water. And to treat wounds. Yep. But it's also kind of messy. I mean, imagine having, say, a container like this of potassium permanganate in your bag and the top spinning off a little bit and that spilling out and then everything you own being dyed purple. Because that's what will happen.
It'll definitely work, but I think there's a lot easier methods.
Easier stuff to carry.
That are easier to carry and easier to light. So,
yeah.
Ben from New York wants to know, do you guys have a place that you order magnesium shavings from that you trust? Does Bobby sell them?
Bobby, yeah, Ben, if that's my NYPD buddy, Ben. What's up, bro? And thank you. Thanks for happening with Jeff. Yeah, hit up Bobby Lynn at Pure Fire Tactical, and he'll hook you up.
And he actually makes these little rolls. So this is a piece of duct tape that has his magnesium shavings in it. These things burn hot as Hades. But these come when you buy one of his fire kits, fire starters. It comes like as a kit, and you get a couple of these in the package also.
And I know he's got that because he's given me Ziploc bags full of it. So I know he's got it.
And it's great stuff. Let's see. Have you guys used the fire strip roll from Production Hangar 51? Yeah. So this is. I have some. I just didn't bring it with me. I like using it a lot. This is their fat rope stick. So this is a like wax pregnated rope. You peel it, shave it up. The rope that you're talking about, it's like a ribbon. And think of a thin piece of birch bark. That's like pregnated with paraffin wax.
Oh, okay.
I mean that's what it feels like.
Birch bark is great fire
like a thick like cardstock kind of paper. It comes in a ribbon. You can pull it out. I like using them because you can tear off the exact piece you want. So you get like a roll of it. And you can tear off a little piece if it's really dry, or if it's just a nasty wet. I mean, you could light the whole thing.
Just set it off and go.
So yeah, it works really, really good. So Mini Infernos. What brand?
Mini Infernos, huh?
What brand? Because there's multiple ones. If Gliding Edge, if you'll put that up there, what brand? We'll go from there. So, all right, let's talk about your favorite. We'll start with lighters. What are your favorite lighters?
I mean, I'm going to start with one of these generally because there's always one in my pocket. Stepping up from that, it's going to be the X-Tac, this thing here. You know, because it puts off such a nice flame. You know. The only thing, again, with any type of liquid fuel lighter that's not a compressed fuel, is making sure the gaskets are right. When I bought this one, the O-ring didn't make contact and all the fuel would leak out, so I replaced it. As you can see, it doesn't screw down as tight as it should.
I have mine here. This has been in my kit for quite a while.
Mine too. I mean,
it's got some fuel in it, but they work well. So Exotac, but I like these Jeep lighters. I think they give off a little bit bigger of a flame than a Bic lighter. It's DJEEP. You can get these off Amazon. I've been using these for a long time. I like the fact most Bic lighters nowadays do not have an adjustable flame. They don't have. They got rid of that. Where the Jeeps, you can still control the flame, so you can get a lot or just a little. So I like that. I've been using these lighters. You can see this one's pretty nasty. It's been in my bag for a while. But one thing that you'll also notice on the table, especially for my stuff, fire starter. We're not trying to be incognito snipers hiding in the woods anymore.
When you're building a fire, you're making a signal.
You're making a signal. So my bag, this is, if Chris will hold it up here.
This is John's
This is an
fire
Osprey
kit.
bag. This is what I put my fire kit in. My fire kit starts with a waterproof bag. Why? So that along the way, if I come across a bird's nest, some birch bark, anything like that, that's dry, because tomorrow might not be dry. Tomorrow might be, like tomorrow here is going to be about an inch or so of rain. So as I'm walking, I can just open that up. My fire kit only takes about a quarter of this.
It fills up right here, and then you can just stuff tinder into this thing. And
because I'm going to use as much natural tinder as I can to preserve the commercial stuff. Because if it's a long trek, I'm going to use nature as much as I can, because I don't know what it's going to provide for me tomorrow. But everything in my pack is always orange, bright green. It's orange shot cord on it, because this was green. Bobby gave me this one personally, and it was green, and I was like, boy, that blends right into here, Florida. So I put a nice piece of orange shot cord on this. Because, I mean, we've even seen it, I can't remember who it was. Was it on season 1 of Alone, when he lost his fire rod?
Oh, yeah, Joe loses his,
It was a black fire rod that he dropped in pretty much black rock sand.
On a black beach almost.
You know, and it was he was done.
Yep.
So, you know, learn from things like that. Your fire kit should be red, orange, bright colors.
Put orange, you know, like even this. I've got some orange duct tape at home. I keep meaning to put on this thing because when I went to order them, they didn't have the orange lighter. So I was going to wrap a piece of orange duct tape around this, or even a piece of reflective. So if I hit it with a light, it'll show up. So.
Okay, so here, next question here from Gliding. Okay, the Mini Ferro by Dave Canterbury. Yeah, they work really, really well. I've used it a couple of times. This one is from Lightning Strike Fire Starters. I know this thing looks pretty crazy, but the Mini Infernos is it's similar to these in a way. These are just a smaller version that fit inside of here. But yeah, the Mini Infernos work really, really well. They burn really hot, and I would never really found an area that I couldn't get a fire started. Like it could be raining, and those things will catch. So they're pretty awesome. Justin asks, have you guys tried Titan's survival cord? Probably similar to the fire cord you showed, but has fishing wire and snare wire. Okay.
I'm conflicted on that.
Yeah, so here's the thing. There's tons out there. You can get it with jute, you can get it with fire cord, you can get it with fishing line in it, snare wire. Now, the only ones that I've ever had a true issue with is when they have snare wire in them, because they start to lose the mobility? Flexibility. Of being able to tie precise knots, get things done, because you now have this strand. And it's a lot harder to cut. You can't just, I mean, you're gonna wreck a blade for the most part if you're cutting that a lot.
But the thing too is you've got all that stuff inside of a piece of 550 cord, but if you need that stuff, it's inside of a piece of 550 cord. You got to get it out. And if anybody who's tried to strip one of these before knows, getting these inner strands out of the sheath can be a bit of a pain in the ass. So you find yourself in a situation where you've got all that cool stuff in here, but you're going to have to take the time to get it out. And you're going to have to separate them anyway. It's real simple just to get some 24 gauge brass snare wire and put it up. You know, I mean, I kind of dig the tinder in here. I don't have to take it out. I can.
Right.
But I also carry other tinder methods and stuff.
It's a redundant item.
Yeah, I prefer.
It's like a tertiary.
Tertiary. It'd be a better example. Yeah, I prefer to have the individual items and not to be out there when I'm wanting to set traps, having to try to disassemble a roll of 550 cord to get my material to do it with.
Yeah. But I mean, it's not bad. You know, just know what you're getting into. Also, AJ asks, how often do standard lighters fail? Trying to justify weight versus firepower. Well, dude, I have literally found Bic lighters on the beach.
Yeah. That
were like rusted.
Yeah, and they'll work.
You like run them a couple times and they'll light. If anything, they'll spark, but it's very rare that a lighter fails.
Yeah, I mean they'll get wet and they can be down for a bit. But that's why this is first line. So I'm going to go with this. Oh, my lighter's wet. All right, I'm going to get my ferro rod out.
Yeah.
This one, I'm going to move to this lighter. Oh, that lighter, I got matches in here. You know, if I have to, I can build primitive fire, which will make you appreciate all this stuff when you do it.
Most of the time when a lighter fails, it's usually due to the operator. What I usually do is I'll run a small zip tie around these. You can still pop them off. Guys will put these in a bag. They'll get depressed. It'll leak all the fluid out, and then you have no gas, so you have no flame. Very rarely does the spark wheel part break.
Off. You got to be kind of aggressive.
Yeah, you have to drop it. It's usually user
on
error
something hard,
right?
Like
or step on it, or crush it in a bag.
Yeah. So
so I have. I would say I've hardly ever had one of these fail on me. Now, I do take precautions. The only Bic lighter that I carry for the most part usually goes in my pot for my cooking kits. So it's surrounded also, and protected. But a zip tie, I like putting a little bit of like duct tape or something around it, which is another good fire extender. For you guys that don't watch, we have a video on that. Put a little bit of duct tape around it and go from there.
Yeah. Yep. So, and I keep one in this little fire kit. This is just one of the kits I have, but I just toss it in here with the rest of the stuff because where this rides in my pack, it's not going to get crushed.
Yeah, it sits at the top.
Plus, I have this, and that's not going to get crushed either.
So, Zachary asks, what do you think of rechargeable arc lighters? Oh yeah,
I'm not a real fan of those personally.
I am coming around to these. I am carrying this more and more. Nikki carries one.
I've got one.
Nikki carries one too. I love the fact that if you guys have watched a lot of my videos, you guys know Forget EMPs. Yes, I know they could happen. I love carrying external battery packs. I love the fact that I can recharge that thing, get thousands upon thousands of fires started, and recharge it if I need to. It's got a micro USB on the bottom.
It looks to me like though if it gets wet, it's done though.
I've actually gotten it wet, and
Submerged?
I've never submerged it.
I've got mine in the rain before.
Yeah.
And it's never had any problems
I've been soaked
with
with it in my pocket, and I've never had an issue
The
with
good thing about those too is you don't have to light it and sit there and hold it for 20 seconds. They'll flame up in a hurry, so you can conserve your battery power rather than just leaving it on.
I don't know. Looks like
So I've been carrying one for quite a while. I go between two things. I go between this and my small pocket of my pants, whatever that's called, a watch pocket, or I carry the Exotac Nano Spark. So I've been carrying both of these. You can tell it's all chewed up because of my little Leatherman.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I like these. There's quite a few of them. They're super hot. Don't touch it.
Yeah, no. Steve's asking about the blast match. I'm not a fan of those because of the mechanical moving parts. And you got to, I'm just not a fan of that.
They can be one-handed, but they can break.
You can do this one-handed.
Yeah, I've seen them break.
Yeah, you can do this one-handed. We demonstrated over the weekend in our class how to do an incapacitated fire using one of these right here if you only have one hand. Yeah. So, I'm just too many moving parts. I don't want a lot of moving parts and critical items now like fire tools. So,
Michael wants to know, how about a good old Zippo? Anything wrong with that? No, I mean, I have. I don't have one.
I don't have one here. I got a bunch at home too. Other than the fact that if you leave it sitting for too long, it will evaporate. Yes. They are going to go dry. So, if you're storing it in a bag in your car, especially where you're having temperature swings, really hot, cooling down, really hot, cooling down, when you need that thing, you're going to go to it and spark, and there won't be nothing there.
I will say though, Zippo lighter fluid lasts.
Oh, forever.
I mean, I have a bottle, like the metal tin, of Zippo lighter, that the expiration date was 1986.
How do they put an expiration date on a petroleum product?
It's just the fluid.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but it says 1986 on it.
It's like putting an expiration date on diesel
it was like a big bottle,
Yeah, I got a big one.
Probably 24 ounces or something like that. And I'm like, how many times are you going to fill a Zippo lighter with a 24-ounce bottle?
Well, a Zippo lighter a lot because it's going to evaporate. But, but I've got the big can too. And Charlie Hogwood's in the house. What's up, Charlie?
Charlie.
What's up, Charlie?
Another survival dispatcher there. So,
Boss Fire Kit. Have you tested the Boss Fire Kit? What's that one?
The Boss Fire Kit. Yeah, it's a whole fire kit. They're not bad. I think they work well. I think they're maybe a touch expensive for what's in it. It's kind of a whole system.
See, I'm very simple in the way I do things. I've got fire steel, matches, lighter, tinder, fat wood. This is my emergency fire starter, which I demonstrated over the weekend, so I'm missing some of them. And then if I need an emergency fire and I need one right now, I've got a flare. If I have to have a fire and I have to have a fire right now, this is how I do that.
Yeah.
So my stuff's real basic. I don't, I like playing with all the new things, but this is what I carry. This is like that stuff I just showed you in this. This is in there too. But that's my fire kit. That's what I carry.
Yeah. And I think one of the things too is the fact that I don't think enough people carry fire extenders to get a fire started.
Get a fire going.
We want to have like 8 lighters and 2 tubes of matches and 5 ferro rods, but yet we have like this tiny little piece of fat wood.
Yeah.
So, like Chris dumped my kit out here. I got this small bag of fat wood that I
carry these 2 pieces of mine.
I always keep a couple of trioxane tabs. This is like my go-to fire starter. I have fire tabs. These are what I use when it's nice and dry.
Yep.
When everything's nice and dry, they work all day long. And then I also keep, these are from Exotac. These are the candle tins. This is a small 4-hour tea candle.
Tea candle, yeah.
But it has a nice case. It screws down. Little tip: always pre-burn your wicks. They will light a whole lot faster in the wild. But what I can do with this is I can take my lighter, which has precious fuel in it once again, light this candle here, and now I have a flame that I can start to catch, fat wood or a little bit of birch bark or whatever, and I'm keeping all the fuel in my lighter. So this will burn for maybe 45 minutes to an hour. I got 3 or 4 hours of pretty much the same flame.
Yes, same exact flame
in a candle.
Yeah.
So definitely, thoughts to things keep in there. Thoughts on, Bobo wants to know, thoughts on petroleum jelly impregnated in dryer lint. I have several pre-made balls stored in a plastic bag.
I do dryer lint. That's mine. I do dryer lint all the time.
Yeah, this is Nikki's dryer lint.
That stuff works great. And,
and then,
put it in a lock sack.
Yeah.
Put it in something good.
Put it in something waterproof, And then, you can mix this with petroleum jelly just like you do cotton balls.
It's just a fire extender.
It'll do the same thing. Yeah.
It's just an accelerant.
Well, and that catches a good spark. It's always good for that. So.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Michael's asking, how about making a primitive bow drill setup? What type of wood works the best other than the dry stuff?
The drier stuff.
The driest stuff. Typically, you want a softer wood. You don't want like oak and hickory, that sort of thing, if you can find it. And of the same types.
Yep.
So your drill and your hearth should be the same material.
wood.
Like yucca, which grows really all over the place. I was surprised to find out. Those flower stalks that come off that plant make excellent hearths. They make great hand drills. And they make good bow drills when you find the fatter ones. So finding woods of the same kind of wood.
Dried palmetto branches will work the same also.
Yeah, palm, the sable palms in Florida, you rip that shoe off where it attaches to the tree. I've done bow drills on those before. They work great.
And I say it's one of the easiest hearths you can ever make.
Yeah, you just got to flatten the top of it down, and you're done.
And you're done.
But that stuff's hard. Like when you're trying to, it's surprising how hard that wood is for as light as it is.
Yeah.
And Charlie Hogwood, we call that incendiary. Charlie's asking, can I tape a road flare to a gas can?
That's a man's Molotov cocktail.
We call that an incendiary.
And if you ask nicely, Charlie, we might show you a little video after this.
Yeah. Next time your truck's up here, we'll show you how to do that, Charlie.
I'll show you.
All right. Next question here. Best ferro rod scraper. A hacksaw blade works really well.
That's it.
If you have a fixed blade, you want to have it to have a very
90 degree spine. So, so that when you go to strike.
And it's the same even with this like fire strike. This has a machined like perfect 90-degree edge, like and that's what helps it throw crazy spark.
And this thing too, you want the back. I mean, never ever put your cutting edge to one of these, but use that spine right there and a good 90. Same thing. I'm not gonna hit this hard because I don't want to set the table on fire like Bobby Lynn did. But a 90-degree hard steel is what you need to use to do that. Don't use your cutting edge. Like ever.
And on some of those too, like 90-degree angle, but if it's got a coating on it, it won't strike.
Yeah,
so like some of the Essie knives that have a coating won't, but their Camp Lore that doesn't, that's specifically made for that, will strike all day long. If
your knife is Cerakoted or got any of these tactical black hoodoo stuff on it, which I always strip off mine, they won't want to strike. So but that's why. I mean, how big is that?
Yeah, it's so light, you don't even know where it is.
It's spring steel, super hard. This is the best thing to strike a ferro rod.
And you can go to Home Depot and get a regular, 16-inch hacksaw blade and make like
a 4-pack.
Don't even do that. Go to Harbor Freight. These things are,
but you know what I'm saying? Like you
nothing.
You can get a long hacksaw blade. You just cut it into little pieces and.
But I'll tell you this though, like if you buy like quality hacksaw blades, like Milwaukee's and stuff, you've got to get the paint off the back of that spine, or they're not going to work. Charlie, did we discuss char cloth? Not yet.
Not yet.
Because we're talking about commercially available fire starters, Charlie.
Why don't you just let us get there?
Why don't you pay attention,
let
Charlie?
Us get there.
Gosh. Oh, Gravely, does the Exotac use Zippo fluid? Yes, it does.
Yeah. The Titan Light. See, this one's leaking pretty good.
Set your whole hand on fire.
Yeah, the Titan Light uses Zippo fuel.
Yep.
And here's what I'll say. A lot of times these will leak out the top because they're overfilled.
Yeah.
You literally just take the cap off the back. There's a little reservoir on it. You fill that, and then you pour the cap into it. Don't just start filling the tube up, or else you'll put 5 times too much lighter fluid in it. So, but yeah, regular Zippo.
I just fill mine up, actually. I'm old school.
Guys, we're going to take a one minute break here, just for Chris and I to get a drink of water, and we will be right back to enjoy this commercial.
I'm about to pass out.
In a survival situation, having a fire can make the difference between life and death, and you don't want to waste any time getting one going. That's why we carry this nifty little survival tool with us at all times. It's called the Life Striker, and with it, you can have a fire lit in just a few seconds. It's so small you'll hardly notice you have it with you. Right now, survivaldispatch.com would like to give you one for free as a thank you for joining our community. It's lightweight, fits on your keychain or in your pocket, and even includes an emergency whistle. Here's all you have to do to get your very own Life Striker today. Just click the big orange button below this video and tell us where to ship your Life Striker. That's all. It only takes a few seconds. We'll get your Life Striker out to you shortly. But hurry, we only have 500 of these available, and when they are gone, they're gone. So please click the big orange button below to grab your Life Striker now.
All right, if you guys are looking to get one of those fire starters, the Life Striker is an awesome thing. You can get it for free. All you gotta do is pay shipping. It's kind of our way of saying thank you. So if you're looking for a great little pocket,
yeah, all in one piece, yeah.
Click the link. Nikki will put it in the comments, and you guys can get one free. Just pay for shipping.
Done.
So, all right. What is your #1 middle of the day perfect weather? What are you going to try to start with?
I'm going to start with a lighter, a Bic lighter, and a
Bic lighter.
Yeah, and if it's perfect weather, middle of the day, everything's nice. I'm gonna source local natural tinder.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we like I said at the class over the weekend. Every fire we started was done with natural tinder, even the friction fires.
Yep.
Now, since when we give classes, we don't know exactly where we're going to be and what the conditions are and stuff like that. We pre-prep natural tinder and bring with us. But yeah, natural tinder. Like if you've got the poplars that are north, that are all over the Appalachian, stuff like that. I forget what they call that damn thing. Tulip poplar.
Yep.
The inner bark of that is fantastic. If you've got cedars or junipers, that kind of stuff, the bark's great. It's down here in the south, you know, the sable palms, the monkey fir on the inside. I mean, you can source tinder. You may have to make your own. You may have to make feather sticks. You know, if you get a good sharp knife with a nice Scandi grind on it, you make a feather stick. That will light with a lighter. If it's dry and the conditions are right, you just light that thing with a lighter and go. You know, it's amusing to me to see people always want to start kind of with a hard way. Like, like I'm going to do this with my ferro rod. All right, well, I want a fire. I'm going to do it over here with a Bic lighter.
Meanwhile, you've got a blaze done while they're just...
Yeah, I'm cooking lunch while he's over there still processing tinder, you know. But not to say there's anything wrong with the ferro rod. I carry one. This is my insurance. I know that this is going to burn irregardless of conditions. But I've got to get the wood and stuff prepared. And I think a lot of people underlook the preparation aspect.
Yeah.
You got to get your tinder prepared, you know, get your kindling prepared, get your firewood prepared, and have everything there, and then go into the process.
No, I agree, and we'll keep going along with questions here. If you got questions, leave them in the comments. Allie is in the room with us, along with Nikki, who for some reason we give a mic to. I don't know why.
I don't know either.
I don't know either. You guys wanted it.
I think we should take it from Nikki and give it to Allie. She's more
exactly.
She's a lot more fun.
But Allie gets all your questions up here, so feel free to leave your questions and we'll get them answered. Josh wants to know, what do you guys think about rope lighters, since they're basically a combination of an Exotac Nano Spark with charred rope?
I forgot.
Not
I had
need
one.
An artificial tender.
I forgot. I have one at home and I forgot it. I meant to bring it. You still need artificial tinder, or not artificial. You still need tinder. All the rope light's going to do is hold essentially a coal.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, like that.
So this is kind of a modified version of that. This is, I got to make sure I get it right, Nikki. Überleben.
Überleben.
This is actually an American company.
Yeah.
But they gave it a German name.
Makes it sound cool.
Their bio is pretty awesome, by the way.
Their bio is cool. Go read it.
Nikki is going to leave a link for this. This is $12 on Amazon.
Read the About Us part first. It's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I have actually fallen in love with this thing.
All right, now, see, I have a thing like this at home.
So this is paraffin impregnated jute twine with an aluminum housing that you hold on to. Okay, I just did a video on this earlier.
I need to bring the one I have at home because mine is old. It goes back all the way into the 1800s. It has a spark wheel on it.
Yeah.
And it was designed for sailors.
Yep.
Is what it was, and I'll bring that in and we'll show that thing. So it's essentially this: spark it, it'll and smolder. So this just smolders.
This catches a good flame.
Well, it will, yeah. I mean, and you can adjust what you're doing with it, you know. But I like mine because it's got the spark wheel on it. That's just kind of cool.
I have used this. This has made its way into my fire kit. This one is Nikki's. I don't know where mine is, but it's here. It's in the studio.
It's not in my pocket.
I'm sure it is. But you can take this aluminum housing, you can bring it up, you can extinguish the flame. This cord will take about an hour to burn. You can get refills for just a couple of bucks. This thing will catch a spark off of a spark wheel, a lighter, anything. But it allows me to save that precious fuel. What I also like about it is the aluminum handle really doesn't get hot.
Yeah.
So if you got some like tinder that's a little bit wet, you can get this up under there and hold it instead of, everybody's done the Bic lighter where you're trying to get it and you're burning your thumb and you're trying to, it just sucks unless you're holding a Bic lighter perfectly straight up. Where this, you can hold it upside down and put it in. You can use it as a torch to walk at night.
Or a candle,
Or a candle,
Yep.
And I just love this thing. And you can even take the aluminum housing off and use it as a bellow.
As a bellows? Well, we're talking bellows, here's that.
There you go.
You know, a lot of people laugh at these, but having one of these things here in your fire kit that will let you be able to keep your face, especially when you're a guy like me with a beard, keep the beard the hell away from the fire, and directly put air right where you want it to be able to build that fire up. This weighs nothing, you know. The other alternative too is, you know, when you're in the woods and the antenna breaks off your AM/FM radio, you've got a spare, you know.
Or when people are dingleberries.
Give them a whooping. All right, Mr. Hogwood says Bic lighters that are out of fuel are still useful if you use the flint wheel to ignite plastic shavings of the body along with other tinder. Yeah, so Charlie's talking about taking, what'd you do with my lighter?
That's my lighter.
Where'd my lighter go?
I don't know.
Oh, my lighter's in my
lose
bag.
your stuff faster
Here,
than I
I'd
lose
rather
it.
cut on yours anyway.
Yeah,
so what do you
go
do?
right ahead.
Well, you
Yeah,
can scrape the plastic off this thing into a little heap, and if you've got some natural tinder too, now we're doing what again? Flame extender. That's what this essentially does.
That's usually why on mine, most of the time you'll see duct tape wrapped around it, because I can put a piece of duct tape on the ground. See, I always have some duct tape in my fire kit, and it'll adhere all of those plastic shavings to it. So instead of like you shave all this stuff and a wind comes and it's like, woof,
well, same thing too
crap.
with your fat wood. Same thing. You put a piece of duct tape down, put it on there. You're shaving this on there. You scrape off some of your Bic lighter who's no good. You pile all this stuff there, get it all catch and burn. Then you've got plastic as a flame extender. You've got duct tape as a flame extender. It's just another idea. It's another way to think.
So what brand bag did you say your water kit was? So this one is an Osprey.
Osprey, I'm sorry. Yeah, Osprey.
You can pretty much get them in any Cedar Summit, Osprey, Kelty, you name it. Just look up, Saks, on Amazon. Nikki will post some. You can usually get them in a couple packs. Like Cedar Summit isn't bad.
Cedar Summit, this Osprey's nice though, because these
it's got all seam steel. Yeah,
these are
and you can always tell a bag is waterproof. Put a little air in it, and then roll it up. If it doesn't do that and stay nice and inflated, you got holes in your bag, which usually means water's going to get in there.
I've got 3 climate air mattresses currently laying in my shop to try and figure out which one of those had the hole in it from over the weekend.
So this is lightweight, weighs nothing, and that's what I've used for a long time.
The Sailor and the trench lighter is the one I was talking about that I have. I'll get that into the studio. We'll do a quick little video on it.
They're super cool.
I've been on the road for a week, guys. I got home yesterday after 15 hours of driving. I'm tired. So.
Toodle wants to know, what is the best fire piston? Ooh, this is a touchy topic.
I made one out of a mini mag.
I'm gonna throw one out there. Numyth, it's spelled Numyth, makes a pretty good fire piston. I'm not a fire piston fan.
I'm not either, because that's a very hard way to get a fire.
And it's not a fire; it is an ember.
Ember, yeah. It's like having a typically what I would do with I made one out of a mini mag. There's a video on YouTube. If you guys want to play the fire pistons, there's a video on YouTube. You can go to Ace Hardware and get everything you need. You just need a wood dowel, which you'll have to sand down. You need a little rubber cup washer that's for something, and the part number's even in the video, and a screw. You cut your flashlight. You do some stuff. But when you're done, what you do is you take a piece of char cloth, and in that rubber cup washer, you put that in the cup, and then you hit the plunger. When you take it out, that char cloth will be glowing. It'll be lit. But again, that's a tiny ember that you better be on point.
You're pretty much making a diesel engine.
Yeah.
That is what you're making.
Yeah.
And if it is not perfect, if that O-ring isn't like greased properly,
it better be lubed.
If it's not lubed, if you don't hit it hard enough, if the piece of char, and you're using a tiny little piece of char cloth.
Which is what I was going to say. You better be on point with your tinder, because the char cloth isn't tinder. That's just...
It's an ember.
It's an ember. And then you better be on point with your char cloth and be quick about it, because you don't get much.
And what I found is, like in Florida, you can make char cloth, there's times where it's difficult to use just due to the fact that it's such a dry.
Yeah. It'll just suck moisture.
It'll
out of
suck
the air.
moisture in, and it can be hard to ignite at times. Not that a fire piston is wrong. It takes a lot of practice to get good at it.
I would call even with the modern manufactured fire pistons, I would call them primitive fire.
Yes.
To me,
it's modern primitive fire.
A fire piston is a modern take on primitive fire. You know, it's like last night I was on YouTube, or on Amazon poking around looking for some stuff, and I saw bow drill kits on there, and it made me laugh. I had actually laughed at they manufacture commercial bow drill kits for you to do your primitive fire with. You know, get a hatchet and a knife and make your own damn bow drill kit. So
let's see here: titanium or stainless steel Emberlet fire ant.
What's a fire ant?
I don't know.
Never seen it. We don't know what it is.
So I'm going to say titanium because titanium's cooler.
Well, titanium's lighter. I mean, you know, I would go titanium anytime I can. So.
Done. All right. Unique fire starters. So you got your flare there.
Yeah, this is my emergency. I'm been fully submerged. I'm soaking wet. It's cold out. Hypothermia is coming. Yeah. This is to get me a fire right now.
Another option. These are actually for barbecue grills. These are called fire pucks. Fire pucks. It is 100%. This is like a match, and it's pretty much a different size road flare. Okay, I mean these things are nasty when they get going. Really? They go. Have your tinder ready. It's a small size. I mean, it fits in the palm of your hand. I have one of these sometimes in my fire kit. If I'm going to someplace wet, and I get to the point where I'm like, F it.
Yeah.
It's going straight to a fire puck.
Is that a one use, or is there multiple?
One use.
That's
you
it.
cannot stop this thing. I mean, you light it, it's a road flare. You can't put it out.
Wow.
But it'll burn for probably 2 minutes. But I mean, it is a fire like the size of it.
Yeah.
So like this big, it'll probably shoot up about this high. Nikki and I have lit quite a few of these off in the past. And
one of the videos is going up
Yeah,
right
and we
now.
have a video on it. And I mean, it's, you'll see in the one video we did, I almost got scared because it started turning.
Oh, really?
And it started kind of aiming towards me, and I was like keeping an eye on it. But this will light, I mean, like soaking wet
This
wood.
is emergency fire starter.
Emergency fire starter. So I love that. I love having candles in a fire kit. I think Exotac makes some of the best. You know, they're just beeswax. But what I like about Exotac, like their bigger ones, you can get them with multiple wicks in them.
You can even heat water over that in your cup if you have to.
That's and we've done it. You know, so they make different sizes. I like the tiny tea candle ones, but some of the bigger ones, you know, can definitely get wood going.
How much stock you on an Exotac?
We carry it at Big Daddy Unlimited.
Well, I know we do. I'm just
curious. So I think they are one of the best companies when it comes to a broad range.
I would agree if their gaskets fit the lighter.
So
to me, it's kind of like the goal zero of fire.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good brand that you can go to. That's you know you're going to buy quality.
Modern technology to make some kind of primitive-ish style tools. They do a nice job. This stuff's cool. I mean, that's rugged. You're never going to destroy this lighter right here, ever. Right. You know, the worst thing you can do is run out of flints. About the worst thing you can do to it.
Yeah.
You know, and their match case is really cool. You know, the match case I like because you know there's supposed to be the strike pad on the bottom. That thing always falls off.
Yep.
But there's one
on the
inside. But if you're a smart little camper and you put strike anywhere matches inside your match kit, it don't really matter if
you
it's
just go off the beard.
or not. Yeah, right off the beard.
Yeah.
Like John Wayne, I'll do it off the tooth.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Michael wants to know, talking about my bag, what about the Walmart brand dry bags? Are they any good? That would be a hit or miss. I would just give it a whirl.
Yeah, like do the test John showed you.
Yeah.
You know, take it out, pack that thing with air, and squeeze it. See if it starts to fall. If it does, it's not a dry bag.
Yeah.
So.
Any experience with fingerling style knives?
What's a fingerling style?
I don't know.
I've never heard of that one.
Oh boy.
Expand on it.
Oh boy. Mr. Alan K is watching. Hey. Alan likes scented candles from Bed Bath & Beyond.
With in the bathtub with some chocolate bonbons.
Yes.
Hey, so Alan, my wife and I were up in Blue Ridge the other day, and we saw the Bigfoot Museum, and I said, "Oh, that's just Alan K's front yard."
If you guys are in Blue Ridge today, why didn't you come by? Because we were all in Blue Ridge.
I didn't know you were there.
Because you were in Blue Ridge. That's why they didn't go by. They were on vacation.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah, I should have thought of that.
Gosh.
Work.
Gosh. Alan, I love you.
Yeah. Alan's go-to lighter is a hand drill.
Yeah. All right. Your
And
thoughts.
he's fast at it.
Your thoughts on?
I love torch
Torches.
lighters. All right.
And I got a couple of them here. This is like a Zippo size.
You know, I mean, I carry this, I know, but for getting a fire going, especially in a hurry, one-handed,
Yeah.
this is hard to beat because these things are so hot.
These are Eagle torches. You can get them on Amazon. They have a lock on them, which I like.
Yeah, so you can lock it out.
You can lock it out so that gas can't escape.
I will tell you though, TSA will not let you travel.
Is it frowned upon?
This is very. I could carry this on a plane with no problem whatsoever. They will not let you take a torch. Like there's a damn difference.
And a torch is going to give you a blue flame. It's going to be a lot hotter.
And they're refillable.
So they're refillable. You know, just with the regular butane lighter fluid.
Yeah.
This will help you if you have wet wood over a regular Bic lighter. The fire is just hot enough that it'll pretty much cook the water out of the wood.
Yeah, and these cook
then
when
get
your
it started.
spoon. You're cooking. Oh, wait, that's a different thing.
That's a
Never mind.
different.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Different.
My bad.
That's next week's live.
That's a different video that I do.
The non-live video. You can do that offline.
Do that offline.
Gosh.
Ain't
If you
nobody
have
got time
any
for that.
comments that actually pertain to fire starters, leave them below, and we'll get to those. So, man, we just
Yeah, like I said, I ordered one of these yesterday. I can't. I've messed with one enough that I was like, all right,
so
I'm gonna
this is a lightning strike.
Yeah.
This is kind of a new take on a ferro rod. The difference is this starts out as a solid piece of aluminum, and then they mill it out. And what it does is it pretty much channels the sparks.
Yeah.
So instead of striking a regular ferro rod and the sparks kind of flying everywhere, this just helps channel the sparks in a more direct pattern. They work really, really well. The handle can hold, any type of fire starter. I have theirs.
I have to evaluate.
Oh yeah, it's big and heavy.
Is it worth the?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
But
big
I
and
wanted to
heavy.
get one to play with, so I ordered one.
Yeah, and I did it. I bought that one just to kind of do some testing on it for you guys, and see how it works. So.
Have we tried the fat wood that is sold at Home Depot? I have not. I have always sourced my fat wood naturally. In Florida in particular. I don't know how it is around the rest of the country, but down here, the yellow pine that we have in particular is a very good fat wood. We have lots of pine trees down here that get struck by lightning, and that's usually the kind you want because they'll get struck by lightning, and all that sap will kind of end up down at the base and the stump. The rest of the tree will rot away. And you'll find, a stump that is nothing but fat wood. At one of my houses a few years ago, I had a log laying in the backyard that was about 8 foot long. Nothing but fat wood. I mean, that thing was like this big around. So I'd go out there with my chainsaw and I'd cut it and I'd process it down into stuff smaller than that. Not that long, but smaller diameter. And that was how I always lit the fireplace in the wintertime. With a lighter, just to get a lighter to it for a second, fire's going. Fat wood's great. That's why it should be a part of it.
Yeah, I've used some of those stuff from Rural King, and the fat wood from Rural King. It's a little dry though.
It's a little dry?
It's not quite as sappy as it could be.
Well,
So.
you can tell, but when you smell it.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if the Walmart one's the same.
First
but
of all,
it's a little dry.
it's Rural King.
Rural.
Not Rural King. It's rural.
Roll.
Quick, pecan or pecan?
Okay.
Yankee.
For everybody out there,
Pecan or pecan?
For everybody
Pecan.
out there, you eat pecans. Truckers use pecans.
Done.
Truckers use pecans.
Okay, just remember that. You eat pecans.
Yeah.
Okay, this wood right here. Nikki's going to leave a link because he's awesome. I think it is Plow and Plow, something like that on Amazon.
I'll put it in.
You can get a 10-pound box of fat wood because you use it for barbecue grills, starting barbecue grills and stuff like that. You can get a 10-pound box on Amazon for, I don't know, Nikki's going to tell me here in just a second.
You can get a 50-pound box for $64.
50-pound box for $60. Okay, do not buy those like SLR, like the fat rope, the fat wood on a rope.
Oh yeah.
Those are like $7 for a piece this big.
10-pound box is $23.
Yeah, 10 pounds. 10 pounds.
Better off with the 50.
10 pounds. It'll take you years and years to use it if you use it all the time.
Well,
but I've had good luck with that one. It was always nice wood and it always worked really well.
I have never, not one time in my life, paid money for fat wood.
No, you don't have to, but some people...
Walk your ass into the woods and find it.
But some people, just I'm telling them don't buy that crap on a rope.
Don't buy it on the rope.
Don't do that.
Unless you're going to prison, you don't need nothing on a rope.
Alan, chime in.
Alan Kay.
I'll take this one.
So the fingerling style knife is a skinner with a delicate tip and a big sweet blade with a lot of belly.
Sounds like you just described Chris.
Pretty much. I do have a delicate tip. Although I don't have as much.
A lot of belly.
I don't have as much belly as I used to. Hey, you actually brought me to the dark side. I'm appendix carrying now.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
We'll keep describing Chris here as a knife.
Yeah. I got my own knife. I got my knife right there. That's the knife you need. That's all. That's all the knife you need in the woods, right there. That's all you need to take with you.
I have never had experience with this. Alan, if you've ever used a fingerling style knife.
It's a skinner. He ain't gonna mess with it, I'll tell you.
Yeah. No.
I haven't messed with one.
Back to.
I've got a skinning knife that I use, but honestly, my favorite blades type for skinning is a drop point.
Yep.
Just a conventional drop point knife. I can do everything I need to do with that.
All right, let's talk about some things you put in your fire kit to help have a success of getting a fire started. So, I mean, we've talked about my bag for just keeping tender, quick. I like keeping my saw usually with my fire kit just so I can grab this bag and I have everything I need. This is a Silky Pocket Boy. I just got this one the other week because my other one.
I took 2 brand new ones to the woods with us. I don't keep mine in my fire kit because I use it for so much other stuff out there. So.
But my fire kit's always on the outside of my bag, so it's pretty easy to get to. So I always keep a Silky in there. One item that most people never keep, that I hardly ever see, is a small flashlight. Because most of the time, it's getting dark when you're trying to start a fire. I try to use the phrase "a fire up before the sun goes down" because it makes life a whole lot easier. Because I have tried to get fire started at night, it sucks. Having just a small little flashlight can really help with that. I always keep some duct tape.
Yeah, duct tape's
just
good.
to keep thin.
Well, my other lighter, this isn't the one that's supposed to be in here, but it has duct tape wrapped around it.
Yeah.
Because it's good to have it with.
And then, like I talked about, I keep candles. Also,
I don't have candles. I mean,
I like them.
I could look into that. I'm not against it. Like you said, once you light that, that's lit. Now you have a flame versus just a spark. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a good idea.
Also, there's times where I'll keep a small stove. I usually keep. I don't have it here because it finally bit the dust. I take a soda can and I cut it to make a wind shield.
Windscreen, yeah.
A windscreen. I've used it as an A-frame to keep rain off of it. You can do the same with a small. This is a firebox stove. I like this thing. It folds up really, really small. It's titanium. I mean, it's super thin. You can slide this pretty much anywhere. You can cook on it if you wanted to. You can get a fire big enough. But it's also used as a windscreen, so I can get a small fire started here. I have actually, as you can see, this thing's pretty nasty. I have started a whole fire over this.
Just left it in there? Let it burn?
Until the wood got down low enough that I was able to grab it with my pliers.
Get it out.
But I literally started a fire in here and just started putting sticks and piled it up on there and just waited until I got enough hot embers below it and I just picked it up. But that's one way of making sure you get a fire in a really windy condition. So those are just a couple things that I try to keep around to help with the success of a fire.
So Billy here is saying, he's asking if you want to elaborate on the saw purpose. He says, I got them, but found that small stuff just breaks and big stuff burns in two. Okay. Well, you just made half the point, Billy. Small stuff just break the damn thing. We have tools to process stuff that we can't do by hand. So this is perfect for collecting, kindling, small diameter wood, stuff 1.25 inch, inch and a half in diameter. This is good for that. Hardwoods are going to be hard to snap in half. Soft woods, even at that diameter, you can probably break with your foot. Or when you watch the forthcoming video, we're going to show you how to use cantilever style action to break stuff down. But this is very handy to process wood. Like for my wood stove in the shelter that I took to Kentucky, this is how I processed all my wood because the firebox on my stove is only about that deep. So I want my stuff to be fairly accurately that size. And so I would just sit, cut, and I don't even cut all the way through. I'll cut halfway through, break, bring it up, cut halfway through, break. And there's a lot of stuff you don't need to cut, but sometimes you do. Little stuff, just break it off. If you have a hatchet with you, lay it against something hard like another tree, whack it. You can just whack and break stuff too. To me, the perfect kit is a saw and a small axe, or like a hatchet, like a Gerber, Fiskars, something like that. Alan, while we're in the woods, he's a big fan of the Fiskars stuff because you simply cannot break them. And if he hasn't broken one yet, they're not going to break.
If you get that scratch on your back.
Yeah, they're great for that. Yes, yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I like the Pocket Boys just because you can get that 2-3 inch wood that you can't break, especially those hardwoods. And in our 48-hour challenge that you guys will be seeing, Chris and I literally whittled on wood with a rock just to get it to the point that we could break it
where we
shelter,
wanted it to break.
Where we wanted it to break.
Yeah, we pounded, chipped, sawed, whittled with a stone. You guys will see it. And had we had that, we'd have been done in a fraction of time. Yeah. And two, this will process bigger wood.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you can just ring it. And ring it a little bit, and then you just break it off. But that's better than no saw. And when you're in the woods too, axes, hatchets are great. I love them. I carry one too. They're not nearly as safe as this thing is. If you're new to this and you don't have the tool handling skills necessarily, you're far less likely to hurt yourself with this than you are an axe or a hatchet. That is a skill set. That is a very definite skill set. There's ways to use those tools and ways not to use those tools. This is kind of foolproof. About anybody can use a saw. Yeah. With a few minutes of instruction.
Yeah, and being able to process larger logs, like in our 48-hour challenge, we were not able to process larger logs.
No.
So most of the time we were being able to just carry smaller logs, which meant most of the night, I was awake because other people were snoring, constantly putting wood on the fire because we couldn't get a big log because we couldn't saw it.
Well, what we ended up doing was dragging in like long pieces that were, say, this big around, and just all night we just kind of just kept feeding them into the fire and feeding them into the fire. But we were also burning a long fire that was like, I think we had like 6 foot at one point, which put off great heat and nobody got cold. So Zachary's asking, what are your thoughts on fire starter logs, like breaking them up into smaller pieces? It would work.
Yeah, but absolutely. It's going to be similar to fat wood or like one of these fire pucks. You can kind of get away with.
Or cotton ball and Vaseline, it's the same thing. You can make those at home though.
If you're like car camping and really want to make it easy, just bring a fire starter log.
If you're car camping, absolutely. Because typically, if someone's going trunk camping, they're going to stop and they're going to buy them a couple bags of firewood. And there's never any kindling with them damn things. So one of those fire logs will get your fire going. Michael's asking, are your fire kits set up different depending on environment? Tropical setup like Hawaii? Mine wouldn't be. Mine wouldn't change. Mine's fairly universal. For wherever I hit the ground, I'm going to get a fire going.
Tropical, like I said before, I'd probably carry a little bit more fat wood as a good fire starter. Because if it's wet. I want enough to get a good ember base going before I have to put any natural wood because usually it's wet. That'd be about the only difference.
Yeah, it depends. I wouldn't change. For me personally, I'm not going to change the damn thing. So
that's because you're lazy.
Well, I shouldn't say that. If you're in a tropical environment with a lot of bamboo, this was something Alan taught me and I hadn't really thought of until he mentioned it the other day. The saw, like this. This will cut bamboo. Okay. Most people don't realize how hard dry bamboo is. That stuff is hard. A wire pocket saw, like we keep in our PSKs, that's the perfect thing to cut bamboo with, honestly. So, and then split it open. You can make bamboo's cool in tropical environments because it's everything. You can do the fire saw with bamboo to create your ember. You can create your tinder from it by scraping it with a knife, and then it can be fuel. It can be containers. It can be everything. I would really like to see one of the shows like Alone, and I've suggested this a few times, that they do it in a tropical environment one time just to see.
Right.
Because there's a lot of different resources there.
OPSEC Bro asked, have you mentioned trioxane?
No, they're laying here. So we haven't mentioned them, but they're all on this table. So.
I have trioxane in my bag every single time. I love it. And this comes in multiple forms: wet fire, SBIT fuel, pretty much all the same thing. So when you buy them, the military style, it's going to come in a box like this. So it'll come, and this was manufactured in 1983.
Yeah, it's been around a hot minute.
And it'll work just fine. You can actually find these relatively cheap sometimes on Amazon or in Army surplus stores because people just don't care about it anymore. And what I do is, with my trioxane, I always have a small plastic bag in there with it. I'll usually take it and break it in half, but I don't want all the chemical crap going everywhere. It'll get kind of crumbly at times, so I always have a small plastic bag that I always put with it so I can put the second half in there and utilize it at another time.
Wow, you're overthinking shit, aren't you?
That's what I do. Overthink and organize. The 2 O's of life.
The 2 O's of life. That was never mind. I'm gonna just shut up.
Overthink.
I had different ones in mind. Can I use the Victronic saws? I haven't. I've never messed with them. I'm Silkies or Bacos. You know, kind of what I use. That's my thing. Pretty simple. Leatherman saw if I really need it. Jeffrey Leatherman. That's my cousin from Arizona. He lives in Tucson now.
I used to live in Tucson.
Yeah, he lives in Tucson.
Yeah, I lived in Marana actually. So
I don't know why he's in the damn desert.
I try not to affiliate with Tucson very much.
He grew up
in Marana,
Florida swamps, and he moved to the damn desert. Either of you carry strikers when you're in the woods? Yes, we do. You show the shit laying on this table? Of course we carry strikers when we're in the woods. Don't go without one. It's like the American Express card for the woods. That, a knife. That's the kind of American Express card of the woods. Metal pot. All right, that's another thing. Those are the things I want. So fire, metal pot, and a knife. Minimum.
All right.
That's like my 3.
I'm good with that.
Yeah. Pocket chainsaws. Robert's asking, what do you think about pocket chainsaws? I think it's a complicated solution to a pretty simple problem in a lot of cases. I'm not a fan of them. I'm not a fan.
They're not ultra reliable.
They're not ultra reliable. And you can get any one of the Sven saws or the buck style saws that'll do the same work for you.
And even at that point, some of the bigger silky saws.
Get
get
one of the
thing
big
will
fold
saw
out
through
silkies
everything
that
in a hurry.
looks like a samurai sword, you know. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the pocket chainsaw. A lot of moving parts, they bind up. You know, if you're not properly skilled in their use and you're cutting the wrong side of something you're trying to do and it collapses onto it, you're going to probably lose your saw because you may not be able to get that thing out of there.
Yeah. And what would you say, give one tip to people having a successful fire?
Preparation. You know, spend the time to get everything ready to start with. Get your tinder bundle put together. Get your kindling. You know, so you got your tinder bundle. Then you got your tiny sticks like pencil lead size, and then you're going to move up to pencil size, and then you're going to move up to thumb size stuff, and then on up. But have it all there, have it all ready to go. Never lay your tinder bundles on the ground if you can avoid it. You know, when you prep those things, put them up in the notch of a tree or something. Just don't lay them on the ground. The ground has moisture; it'll absorb it. But get your wood processed and get it ready. And when you collect your firewood, collect as much as you think you need, and then double the size of that pile, and you'll probably be okay. There's nothing worse than stumbling around in the dark in the middle of the damn night trying to find more wood to put on the fire that's dying. So, but yeah, preparation, and then technique too. Get your technique down, you know, so you do the stuff the right way and you succeed. You know, fireability is a skill, and we talked about that a lot in the class over the weekend. You know, modern humans are out of touch with fire, but yet that simple thing, fire, is what has allowed us to get to where we are. You think about it, everything starts with fire. And like Alan was talking to the class over the weekend, it doesn't matter who you are either. Chinese, white, black, Russian, South America, I don't care who you are. You can trace your lineage back to somebody who had to make fire and primitive means, you know. So it's a very, fire is so connected to humans, but yet now we're getting so far removed from it that most people just don't understand it. The closest most folks get to fire today is the barbecue grill in the backyard, and that's a shame. So learn to make fire.
All right, Michael asked, other than being messy, are there any cons to Vaseline cotton balls? Are these commercial tenders that much better?
I'm going to say they're not that much better, and I don't see a con to the Vaseline cotton ball thing. I mean, you know, people talk about, oh, you're going to get Vaseline on your hands. Big deal.
So
cut this thing in half, tear it in half.
This comes with the lightning strike. These are their, I think they call them napalm.
Yeah. So you don't need to use a whole cotton ball.
So these have wax impregnated cotton balls, but they also have an accelerant in them.
Yeah, there's a petroleum something there.
They got some fuel in them, and you can see this one's been on top for a while. They get bluer because the fuel's going down. So you know, you can find some commercial stuff that has an accelerant in it, so it's going to burn hotter than just a Vaseline and cotton ball. I have nothing against Vaseline and cotton balls. I mean, I think they're the easiest go-to
for a non-natural material. This is my absolute preferred. I mean, they're cheap to make, easy to carry, they'll burn. You can use this thing as a candle even. Like if you're in a hooch, you can put one of these on the end of a stick, prop it in the ground. They actually put off quite a bit of light. And they burn for up to 5 minutes, just one ball. No mention of fine steel wool as a helper. Absolutely, steel wool will burn.
Yeah. You can catch it with a battery.
Yeah, you can start with a battery. You can, if you get a fire going, it'll burn too. But I mean, if you've already got a flame going, I'm not going to waste steel wool throwing it in there. I'll shave this down or make a feather stick. See, that's, folks need to remember too. Just because the wood's big doesn't mean it has to stay that way. You can process it down, make it as small as you want it. You can take a piece of firewood, like you buy, we were talking about those bags, and with your knife, batoning, or a hatchet and a knife, you can make toothpicks out of that damn thing. And featherwood, do the whole thing. So a little more effort, and it'll still get done. So
Allie got here a little bit late. And she would like this live to go on for 3 more hours.
Yes, she would.
Because she was just here on a 3-hour car ride to get here. So we're just going to keep going here and answering questions. So if you got questions, leave them below. Also, if you guys haven't yet, click the link that Nikki's going to put in the comments and in the description to check out the Survival Dispatch Insider for free for 14 days. We break down a monthly subscription. Every single... It's an editorial.
I'm walking in the middle.
No, look at him. He's all in uniform.
I want to be here.
He's all in uniform and everything.
Nikki's
merch. This one's for you.
So
here.
So this is our monthly magazine that we do, digital magazine that we do. Every single month we put out one of these. They're usually 60 to 80 pages. Guys like Charlie Hogwood, Alan Kay, Chris, myself, all write in it, along with like 16, 17 other writers. And every single month we pick one scenario or one topic, and that's what the entire magazine is for. And it is to be used as a resource material. Yes, it's 100% entertaining. Brad and Nikki and the guys do an awesome job putting these things together every month. But when you guys are looking for something like fire, you go straight to the fire issue, and there's just article after article on it. And you can try it for free for 14 days. Click the link, and that's how we do what we do.
I'm going to share a little something with you guys. I didn't learn this until Brad was here the other day for something. Examine these covers closely. Brad, our graphics guy, is a cool dude, and he likes to put all kinds of little hidden Easter eggs and all sorts of stuff in these covers. So really look at them, and you'll be surprised at some of the stuff you'll find hidden in these covers.
Yeah.
They're really cool.
All right. Moving on here.
Michael must be late to the show because, Michael, we did talk about the inner strand, like the red one here and the fire cord.
Jute cord.
Jute cord, it does work. They're good.
Yep.
But just remember, you got to disassemble your damn paracord to get to that. Using gunpowder from ammo. Worst case if you got to.
It'll work. It's going to burn extremely fast.
Real fast.
So it's not going to explode, but it's going to burn extremely fast. It's going to mostly be similar to a flash. So you better have some really, really dry stuff around it that's going to catch it if you're going to try to use gunpowder from ammo.
Good as an accelerant, but not necessarily as a source.
Yeah. No, it's as a force multiplier. Yeah. If you had really dry stuff, it would light it, but if you got really dry stuff, I guess if you don't have a lighter, you don't have anything, that's one way to do it, but how are you going to light the gunpowder? And before you say, oh, well, I'll dump the gunpowder out and I'll put the empty casing back in and pull the trigger, you'll be surprised how much pressure comes from a primer down a barrel. You will blow gunpowder all over the damn place.
Yeah, most people don't know that like a .22 bullet has hardly any gunpowder in it.
Yeah, very
little. It's pretty much all the primer.
Yeah, it's just all primer.
And that pushes a bullet.
What was it? What was it? There's a
1,400 feet a second.
No, I'm thinking the little
calibres.
Yeah,
calibres.
Calibres, tiny ones. Yeah, those are almost like shooting BBs. Calibres. Yeah. So Christine says, will you provide video of you using your favorite methods of fire starting? That's what we do here, man.
Yeah, we got a couple of them already up there. We're working on some more.
I'll link our YouTube playlist that's all about fire and shelter.
There you go.
So
Nikki's got you. Nikki's got you. And you can take Michael's comment down because we did that one already too. Megan, what are your thoughts on cheap fire starters from Walmart or Dick's Sporting Goods?
The magnesium ones suck.
Well, here's how I look at this. You are assembling gear that you very well may someday stake your life on.
Yep.
Now, of course, budgets are a thing. We all have to deal with them and live inside of them. But we're showing you things here like you can make this at home yourself.
Yeah.
A Ferro rod, you can buy decent Ferro rods, just rods on Amazon, pretty cheap.
Yep.
Bobby Lynn's starters here at Pure Fire Tactical are not expensive. Bic lighters are not expensive. You know, You can make a fire kit. You know, even go to the dollar store, buy tea candles. Even not expensive. You don't have. I mean, and I know we have a lot of the coolly, snazzy things up here, but between the two of us, we've got a zillion years of doing this stuff in the woods. So we like to try the different things. And, you know, we're both gadget guys and we want to play with the cool new stuff. Like I ordered this thing just the other day, it's coming. But you think it's going to replace this? Not happening. This is what's going to be my kit.
And it's funny, you guys have seen this system before. This is my hefty Benz here. So I have a entire shelf at my house that's full of probably 20 or 25 of these things. Because we do a lot of product reviews and stuff for you guys. You guys ask a lot of questions.
We buy a lot of junk to try it.
Yeah, we buy a lot of stuff. And this thing is like full of all this stuff. Like I don't carry this when I go into the woods.
That's his pocket fire kit. Right there, all of it.
It's a small fire kit. But we keep all this stuff because we try different things, you know? It's like, that sounds interesting, fat rope. Okay, we'll try it. And it kind of goes into this bin so that when we do shows like this, I can just grab the bin and throw everything on the table. But yeah, I mean, you can make it super simple. I mean, dollar store can get you a pretty decent fire kit with some Bic lighters, some candles.
Hell, I could walk into a 7-Eleven and make a fire kit.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, you could walk into a 7-Eleven and make yourself a fire kit. It's not complicated. You know, primitive skills are, you know, if you're wanting to be serious about being secure in your fire making abilities, learn some primitive skills. And where can you learn those? Hey, we give classes.
Ask that next question.
Yep. SCGI 2000 says, Chris, what do you think about pre-mixing fatwood shavings and magnesium shavings and storing in a tube?
I had to grab this because it was sitting there. That's exactly what's in here.
Well, but they're not shaved down.
They're not shaved down yet, but it's fatwood and magnesium shavings all there.
Yeah.
And that's what you get from Bobby Lynn when you buy one of his kits. So you can take them, attach them to duct tape like this, put a little rubber band around them, and it'll stay pretty condensed and mess-free. But you know, duct tape is a great way, and we put a video on this where we used magnesium and fatwood to get some fire started. So absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, it'd be a good mix. I don't know precisely why you'd want to do it, honestly.
Yeah.
Unless it's just to catch your spark, but yeah, it'll work, and the magnesium will be the igniter, and the fatwood will be the flame extender. So,
Luca wants to know, what do you think about wax jute cord? I love it. The Überleben. What is this called, Nikki? The Tender Wick. The Überleben. American company, German name. Allie's laughing at me because she thinks it's funny when I say Überleben. Uber.
Not like the car service? No. Okay.
No.
Steve, I love questions like this.
Tard bank line?
Tard bank line? Question mark. Love the stuff. I have it in my pack. I'm just messing with you, Steve. I love the stuff. You know, paracord's great. Paracord has some pretty severe drawbacks at times, though. Like this weekend in class, again, we were doing a Y-bone deadfall trap, and the trigger stick has to be tied, you know, onto the end of a piece of string, and paracord knots are fairly substantial. Mm-hmm. You know, that's a pretty big damn knot, especially when you're coming into a Y with a small trigger stick. We actually had one guy's fail simply because the knot caught, wouldn't let go. Things like tarred bank line, you can tie much finer, smaller knots. So I carry both. I carry 550 cord and I carry tarred bank line, just for the difference. Plus tarred bank line, you can make, you know, trot lines and whatnot like that out of that. So I'm a big fan of
Allie, can you move the next comment up on the screen? Got it. Okay, Todd wants to know, does it really matter what type of fire starter you use with different weather conditions, or do you try to tailor your fire starter to the expected weather conditions?
Well, you know, I look at it like this. You don't get to pick the weather that you may be trying to survive in. So I carry something that will work in any weather.
Yeah.
90% of the commercially made stuff on this table are going to work wet, dry, or indifferent. These are going to work wet, dry. This will burn floating on the damn water. So no, my kit, again, it doesn't matter. I'll take this fire kit, and you can drop me anywhere on the planet except, you know, the ice shelves up in north or south, and I'm going to get a fire going.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't change much.
You know, Bic lighters, Keep them in your pocket if it's uber cold.
Yeah,
I just
put them
wanted to
inside
say
your
uber
jacket.
again.
Yeah, you like the Uber thing.
You know, keep them in your jacket pocket. Same with your water filter. Keep them in your jacket pocket. The plastic could crack if it got cold enough. But
the only thing I do is if I'm going to someplace that will be super cold and I know it will be cold, is I will make sure I have an emergency fire starter that will work irregardless. Now, there is a chance this flare won't go off when I pull the cord, but I've yet to see that happen with these guys. But having an emergency one, should I find myself submerged in cold water and need a fire? So yeah.
All right. Have you guys ever used the Wazoo survival gear bracelet to start a fire? Nikki?
I've used the Wazoo survival gear necklace.
I was gonna say I think
necklace.
yeah, I
With
have
the
one of the
mini
necklaces
ferro rod
someplace
and the
too.
striker.
And the ceramic, they got the ceramic striker.
Ceramic,
on?
yep.
Yeah, they work great.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's a great way to EDC it.
Yeah, you're just carrying it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sits on your neck and you forget
And that
about
stuff
it.
will make it through TSA with no problem. Too,
Oh, yeah.
folks. What are your so this is UBQ 505. What are your thoughts on cutting open shotgun shells and using the powder for a quick fire? Absolutely. If you need to get a fire going, hell yeah, do that. You know, I mean, if you're in a real crisis emergency situation, like you've got to have fire, hell, get under your car, punch a hole in the oil pan, whatever it takes. When we're talking life and death, that kind of thing, if like seriously, if I was someplace where I was going to freeze to death or I needed a fire, I'll light this and throw it in the front seat of the car. I don't care. I'm going to get a fire.
And don't worry, guys. We are going to do a video on that. I'm going to punch a hole in Chris's truck's oil pan, and then I'm going to throw the road flare in the front seat.
If you can handle that under all the gunfire you'll be under, then you will be the man.
Yes.
Remember that 60-round mag I bought? Yes. Got that ass. Christine's asking, what is the best manufacturer of leather patch knees and bottom pants for outdoor use? Wow, leather patch. Fjallraven makes some stuff like that. That's going to be high end. You can also go to truespec.com and look at the expedition pants that Alan Kay designed for those guys. That is almost the exact same pant as the Fjallraven, only not in heavy wax canvas, with some pretty serious upgrades as far as having screening on the leg ventings and things like that. But remember, a lot of this leather kneed and protected and this and that is going to be made from cotton canvas. A lot of that clothing is. The Swedes, for some reason, are fans of that garbage. People like that. But cotton kills. It's a fact.
It's cotton, it's rotten.
Because cotton is rotten. You need to wear stuff into the woods that will dry quickly.
Yep.
And that won't kill you when it gets wet. Cotton in particular, when it gets wet, for gentlemen in particular, chafing becomes a serious issue. You get cotton clothes wet in a high humidity area, you will just remain wet and you'll be miserable. Wet cotton also expands and messes with thermoregulation, and you'll actually feel hotter wearing that stuff. So I'd be careful, But look at Fjallraven and check out True Specs Expedition Pants, because our good friend Alan Kay designed those. Not that he makes a royalty on them or anything. Are you watching, Daryl? Anyway, next question. I know Daryl's not going to watch.
Man, as soon as the camera goes, it's just downhill.
And the camera's on right now.
It's been on. So, all right, guys, we're about to wrap up here. If we have any last-minute questions, feel free to. It's like I'm pointing a stick at the camera.
Yeah,
feel free to leave them. We'll go over them as far as fire starters, and then we're going to let Allie go to the bathroom. So, but yeah, so if you got any last-minute questions, throw them up there.
Yeah, I don't know how she's typing while she's jumping up and down like that.
Yeah, man. All right.
No love.
Any last things you throw in your bag for your fire kit?
No, literally. I'm going to make one change.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep this little bag, but I'm gonna put it in one of those.
Yeah.
Just because of the ability to grab the tinder and throw it in there with it, and that would be great. And this isn't waterproof either, but see, my entire fire system, short of that, is waterproof. I can start a fire, wherever, on the water, in the water.
And I mean, in your bag, in that pack, it's going to take a while before that thing got wet.
Yeah, it would take a bit.
I
would have to be in
the
some
water
serious
for a while.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, build a system that will work all over the place. It's hard because you may not have the ability or the luxury to say, oh, wait, no, I don't have what I want for this situation. Let me go repack my kit real quick.
Right.
I do change my kit from summer to winter, but primarily that is warming layers in the winter and different sleep systems, sleep system and shelter system. In the summer, all the heavy stuff comes out, lighter stuff goes in. But that's about it for me. You know, the rest of my gear will function regardless of season. 4 season stuff, folks. Gliding says main reasons for starting a fire: to not die.
Boil water. Cook food.
Yes.
Dry clothes.
Have a camp companion if you're alone.
Morale booster.
You wouldn't believe the morale boost that a fire, especially if you're alone, afraid, in a place you may not be familiar with. Having a fire in front of you will improve your morale.
Keep you from going hypothermic.
Like I said, keep from dying.
Keep going.
Making tools, cooking your food. I mean, it's endless. And sometimes, however, he may have asked that question because if you're in a tactically minded situation, as in you're trying to get out of a town or you're trying to get around a town where you don't want attention, a fire, cold camp may be the way to go. That's why we all here carry stoves as well. They have a place in life. And that's when that would come into play. Todd's asking, favorite primitive fire starting technique? Depends on where you're at. I do like the fire saw, and for me, bow drill. Hand drill is just, I don't know. It's like Chinese math. I can't figure it out for some reason. I mean, I can if I spend enough time.
You can't figure out Chinese math.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's like trying to figure out Chinese math. You can't do it. But you watch Alan. It was so funny when students, they watch Alan. They'll watch Alan do a hand drill. And you saw him when we did our thing, how fast he can get a coal. And the students are like, this is nothing. 20 minutes later, they're over there. They're just sweating and their arms are about to fall off, you know. And so, but yeah, I like bow drill and I like fire saw out of bamboo. So
fire pistons. We talked
Rewatch the video.
We talked about them earlier. We're not huge fans of them.
Yeah,
they're extremely finicky, and conditions have to be perfect.
And you have to be perfect. You better know what you're doing if you're using a fire piston.
So,
Steve, potassium permanganate. We already covered that too. Glycerin, it'll work. You can also use it for other stuff like purifying water, treating wounds, all that good stuff. And then Norte from the north. Which fuel is safer for closed environments, like a bunker in a grid down situation? Fuel.
Like, are we talking like a completely closed?
If he's talking about like an enclosed area, I'm going to go with denatured alcohol because it's not explosive. Any of your butanes, propanes, gasolines, they're going to be explosive, whereas denatured alcohol is not explosive. And alcohol stoves you can get them all over the place in all kinds of varieties.
Yeah.
You know, that would be mine. Or kerosene. Kerosene stoves the same way. You want a non-volatile fuel. So, like I said, things like gasoline and that variety is explosive. No, and those others are not explosive. So, a non-volatile, non-explosive. There's a difference between flammable and explosive. So, denatured alcohol will be the answer for that one.
Yeah. And guys, with that, we are going to call it a wraps for today. Another hour and a half live, just because we love you guys, and you guys keep throwing questions out there. While you're watching this video, go ahead right now, hit that thumbs up button. It really helps us out with our reach, just due to the fact that we are in a conservative survival market. Our reach gets really crushed at times. So by you guys hitting that thumbs up, it really helps us spread the word of awesomeness.
There's a lot of folks out there that make videos and this kind of stuff, and we know this is tabletop stuff, guys. But as you're going to see here soon, we go out and do it. I just spent the weekend in the woods. We spent the weekend in the woods. We don't just talk about this stuff and play with it in the backyard. We actually go out and put it to use real world. And like I said, the guys that write for us that contribute here, they do too. It's not just us. There's a
lot of awesome guys here.
Vast network of deep experience. So support those guys.
And also, we're getting closer and closer to our epic 75,000 subscriber giveaway.
There you go.
So
what am I getting?
Can't tell you.
It's
a secret.
It unlocks at 75,000.
Nice.
And it's going to be epic.
And how many do we have to go? Where are we at, Nikki?
We're about 66.
66,000?
Yep.
All right, get
so
9,000 of your friends to sign up.
Tell your
and
dog.
one of you lucky...
it's going to be awesome. That's all I got to say for you.
Yeah, one of you freelaters will get something nice.
So... But also, you guys, make sure you check out the Survival Dispatch Insider. Click the link for your free 14-day trial. If you got any other questions with regards to fire starting stuff, feel free to leave them below. We'll be around for the next couple of days to answer questions. We hope you guys have a fantastic weekend, and we will see you next week.
Hasta luego. Hey guys, Chris from Survival Dispatch. Want to do a quick video on an emergency fire. This is like an event where you've got to have a fire right now. You don't have time to process everything down like the way you necessarily should, but this could be a life or death thing where maybe you've gotten wet in a cold environment or something and you need a fire now. So we've gathered a little bit of stuff here. As you can see, I just picked this up real quick in the immediate area to demonstrate how you can get one going. That could be the difference between life and death. I did pull a little bit of stuff out of a palm tree. It's all over, but this is damp. This is not dry. So how are we going to light this thing? Well, I'm going to pile all this on here, and I'm going to use this flare. Now, carrying a flare in your bag can be a lifesaver. And this is a signal flare, but it's going to put off a hell of a flame, and it will start a fire. So let's see if in an emergency situation, if we have to, if this thing will get this stuff lit and burning in short order. So give me just a second, I'm going to set it up. I'm just going to pile this stuff here. Again, this is like, you could even be hypothermic in having to do this. There's just no time to process. It's simply pile it up and get it lit. I know this stuff here is going to burn. Even though it is a little wet, it will burn. And then I'm going to pick all this up and set it on top. So on these flares, these are German marine flares. Take the little cap off. You've got this cord, you simply pull it. That's what you're supposed to do, and it should light. Now this is going to be very bright, so let's see what happens with it. And that is hot. I mean, that is hot. As you can hear, the flare is still going. I can't even look at the thing. It's so hot in there. And the flare is so bright. But as you see, we have a roaring fire. Like, very little effort on my part. Just scraping some stuff together, piling it in there, popping the flare, and in it goes. And we're rolling. Now I can build on this. I can add more light stuff to it, keep it going. I've got plenty of wood in there. I'm pretty sure it's going to stay lit. I'm just going to drag the flare out. As you can tell, it is glowing red hot. And the plastic melted all over my knife. So you do need to be careful with these things. You can see how hot the tip of that flare is. I mean, it's glowing red. But it lit our fire. We've got it started, and now we can keep this going. And again, this is an emergency, like I said, got to have it right now. There's no time to prepare, no time to plan. This is one way to do it. I keep one of these in my pack for this very reason. So there we go, emergency flare, fire starting method.